a year. He only takes
We are
2
live on Facebook and we are just waiting for our trainer. I know he's hopping over from another call that was this morning, and I'll just double check that he's going to be with us. We'll start right at the top of the hour. Our trainer today is Mr. Ed Wiens. And so we're just a tiny bit early before we get going here.
So Peg, it was 3 days?
It was 4 days, Bo.
Awesome.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Very good.
Indeed.
Mhm.
All right, we just hit the top of the hour and Mr. Wiens will be on here any second. There he is. There's our trainer. So Ed, we're live on Facebook and we are recording here. So we'll go over to you.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning,
Great
Ed.
to be with all of you this morning, different parts of the country. Don't you love technology? You know, you can't live with it. You can't live without it. I just remember the old days, Cindy, and you and I and Bo were around back when we were trying to do all this kind of business with payphones and fax machines and sending audio cassettes and video cassettes, and to be able to have this kind of communication technology to support what we do is just an amazing gift. You know, I don't think that the Microsofts of the world and the Googles of the world, they don't realize that they've developed all the platforms they have for network marketing. They may not even embrace the industry, but they're really, to me, that's really why they did all that, is so that we could have the kind of business that we have from the comfort of our homes, which of course has been a big reality. So what I would like to just spend a few minutes on, I may have touched on this at a previous time we've been together here, when I talked about the different resources that it takes to launch this business. But I want to focus, and if you missed that, that's available, and it'll be available as a recorded video. In fact, it's going to be a segment. I'll just give you a preview. It's going to be even a more polished version of that will be released at the Envision conference. So stay tuned for that. But I talk about the resources it takes to launch this as a business. The first one being people, the second one being time, the third one being money, and the fourth one, of course, being desire. But I want to focus a little bit on the people resource today. And some of you already may take an initiative with this, and maybe, yeah, if you haven't, that's what we're gonna talk about today. So I like to talk about, when it comes to the people resource, which of course is the most, it's an extremely valuable resource to consider when you're going to launch your business, or if you're going to help somebody on your team launch their business. You kind of want to know, where are they in terms of their people equity? Do they like people? This is a people business. Do people like them? Do they have a lot of friends? Do they have credibility with people? Do they have a circle of influence with a certain number of people? Are there people that will sit down and look at this just because they ask them to? Do they have that kind of clout, that kind of credibility? So it's helpful to identify where someone is in terms of their people equity. Doesn't matter where they are, but it's helpful for you as a sponsor to know where they are, because there's some level of responsibility that goes along with being a sponsor. So the checklist for someone who has really high people or high people credibility may be a little different for somebody that doesn't have. But anyway, the tool that I think will help you assess where you are, where your people are in terms of people equity is what I call, it's a form we just call looking for pearls. And I showed you this, I referred to this when we did our training, but part of your assignment today is I'm going to tell you where you can find this form right now, today, and you can print this out. And this is basically a form to help you. It's obviously, there's all kinds of electronic ways to keep your people list today, but putting it down on paper is just time tested. And to put your list of names here, and then you're looking for pearls. We call this looking for pearls because the word pearls breaks down by letter. And so there are, when you put a name here, there's columns here, one column for every letter of the word pearl. P, of course, stands for a people person. Party, the positive, life of the party type of person. They're open, they're bubbly. If that describes the person on your list, put a check mark in the P column. The E stands for entrepreneur. They're self-starter, strong desire. And you're going to have this form in your hands in a few minutes. If that's descriptive of that person, put a check mark in the E column. The A is they're an achiever. They're already an achiever. They're ambitious, they're productive, self-motivated. The R is recognition. They value being recognized. Perhaps they're not being recognized where they are. You know that recognition would mean something to them. And an L is a leader. They're already a leader. They're a leader in business, a leader at church, leader in civic affairs, Kiwanis Club, Rotary Club, PTA, whatever. They're a leader already. S, of course, you could just put a $sign through it. They've already had the taste of success in business. So this form is now available on ASEA United in the files section. So part of your little assignment when we take a break here is go to ASEA United, go to the files section. I just did that this morning. Even though I've had this form for years, I literally went to ASEA United on my phone this morning, went to files, clicked on this and printed it out from my phone downstairs on my printer upstairs. So you can go to ASEA United right now, go to the files heading, print the form out, and then take the next few minutes. We're going to kind of be focused on the task here and start putting some names, putting some of the names that you've got them written down someplace else, so they're in your mind. Put them down on this form and look at this P.E.A.R.L.S, P-E-A-R-L-S column and make the check marks there. And we'll talk about what to do once you've made your list and you've maybe prioritized the top 10 or 20 on the list. So that's your task for the next few minutes is go to ASEA United, go to files, print this form, and begin putting some names down here and check marks according to how they rate in terms of pearls, okay? Got it? All right, there's gonna be a quiz at the end of the class today, children.